I just spent a lot of money purchasing 6 cartons of eggs from the supermarket. And why did I do that? Because I want you to be informed about what these labels really mean. Hi, I'm Kathy McDaniel, and today we're going to talk about eggs. Not the price of eggs, because we know it's expensive, right? We're going to talk about the labels and what exactly are they telling you, so you can make informed decisions about what you eat and what you feed your family. Let's talk about your basic carton of eggs. The carton only says they're fresh eggs, which literally means they're not plastic because they're natural. I mean, it means absolutely nothing, okay? It's just a marketing technique to make you think of fresh, natural. So these eggs more likely come from factory farms where the chickens are in cages, cramped up, they don't see the sun. If that's what you can afford right now, that's okay. These are available everywhere, even at a dollar store. And if your finances are the most important thing right now, this is great. Finances have been very important for me so many times, and these are the eggs that I purchased. Now, one of the most important things to remember when you're going to the supermarket is that these companies have a fabulous marketing team that put all sorts of things on the labels to really give you information, but sometimes, like when they said things like fresh eggs, the information is absolutely useless. Now, these ones are eggs that are cage-free. What does that really mean? All that means is that the chickens are not put in cages, but they could be still living indoors in a very large space, very cramped up. This label also says that they are fed a vegetarian diet. And all that tells me is that the chickens are indoors and they're fed a vegetarian diet that could be corn, right? But they are not free to roam outside and eat what a chicken should be eating, which is bugs and worms and little grass and a little bit of this and that. That's all that means. Now, the label also said an excellent source of vitamins D, E, B2, B12, and B5, plus, let me get my glasses because it's a lot of information here and I can barely see, 125 milligrams of omega-3. I don't know if that's per egg or what. Honestly, this to me sounds more like a marketing campaign to make you buy the eggs because all the eggs have vitamins, right? The supermarket brand offers probably the exact same thing these ones do, except for this one has a better marketing team to make it look fabulous. Now let's talk about these ones that said cage-free vegetarian eggs. I am gonna have to put my glasses on because there's a lot of information on this carton, and one of them that caught my eye is this little seal, United Egg Producers Certified. Okay, number one, this is not regulated by the United States Department of Agriculture, and all it tells me is that some egg producers came up with some guidelines that they want to follow, and every year they go and make sure that these particular practices are followed. What are these practices? Well, I don't really know, except for no hormones. Well, that is misleading because it is illegal to give hormones to chickens in the United States. So why are you telling me that? Again, marketing. No antibiotics and no animal byproducts. So again, be informed. And make your own decisions. The next carton has a lot of information, a lot of seals, so let's talk about this. First, it has a certification. It's a certified B Corporation. What do these mean and why do I care? Well, usually these corporations are not all about profit. They are very invested in the environment and social causes. So that is actually a plus. Other companies that do that are like Ben & Jerry's, Tom's Shoes, so that is a good thing. In this label, we also see no added hormones or antibiotics. Again, it's illegal to give chicken hormones, so meaningless label. And it has the seal of the United States Department of Agriculture that said it's organic, so they are fed an organic diet. No synthetic pesticides, that means that whatever diet they are eating doesn't have pesticides. That's obvious when you have a organic seal. So again, a lot of information that is repetitive and doesn't tell you much, really. It has a seal that certifies humane conditions for the animals. This is not regulated by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, by the way. It's just an association that makes sure that the animals are raised in a humane condition. Free range means that the chicken has the option to go outside. Now, what do I mean by the option? Well, sometimes, especially on organic eggs, they are raised inside for the first 5 weeks because the farmer is afraid that the chicken might get sick, so they don't get to go out. However, they have these little doors where the chickens can find their way out and roam free. Do they always find their way out? Well, if you kept the chicken indoors for so long, they most likely will never go out. Now, is this what this farm does? I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that you need to be careful with free range, because free range can mean that all these chickens are indoors all the time, but they have some little doors where they could go outside. This is a step up from supermarket eggs and cage-free eggs, but again, unless you have a code that can see where these animals live, it really is hard to tell. Let's talk about the next tier, pasture-raised organic eggs. This carton also has a lot of information. It has the seals, United States Department of Agriculture, certified humane, and it says that it has 108 square feet per hen. So it's also on rotated pastures. Here what I'm seeing is that the chickens are free to roam outside and live chicken lives. They probably eat bugs, they probably eat grass, they probably pick things, they're probably having a time of their life, I don't know. Something that I really like about this, just because it's new and I never seen it before, is that we have a QR code that we can scan, and you can put the name of the farm and then see that farm. Okay, I think that's pretty cool. So you can really see how your chickens are being raised. Now, do I like to buy these eggs? Are they the best from the whole bunch? Yes, they are. I can see how the chickens are raised. I can see that they're roaming free, having their best life. But sometimes I can't afford them because they're very, very expensive. And so that's okay, because I have to feed my family, I have to feed myself. And although I care about the animals, sometimes I just can't afford these eggs. Is the flavor better? You better believe it. And you can tell when you crack one, the yolks are usually bright in color, they're more orange. Again, if you can afford this, this is probably your best bet. But if you cannot, and trust me, I've been there, just get what you can afford. It's all about making conscious decisions of what we put in our body with what we have, with the resources we have. No judgment. That's it. Now, one of the things I want to talk about that I was actually excited about, again, I don't have anything against these farms, these labels, these companies, none of that. I don't prefer one over the other because during my lifetime, I have to make decisions according to my budget. And most of the time, I could not afford the expensive pasture-raised, organic, blessed by the Pope eggs, okay? I'm gonna be honest. However, I was surprised the other day I went to Costco and you can buy 18 pasture-raised organic eggs for about the price that you will just pay at the regular supermarket. Now, obviously, for Costco, you need to buy a membership and all of that, so it might not work for you. But if you're informed, you can make a right decision for you and see what's best. Okay, so now that we have talked about these labels, I am curious to actually crack the eggs open and see if we can see a difference. First, we're gonna do supermarket egg, which again is just natural or farm fresh, and see how that looks. This is a white egg, and there it is. It has a nice yellow yolk. And we're gonna crack open the pasture-raised organic eggs, which cost a little more money. Now, can you see the difference? As you can see, there's a difference in color, and the darker orange yolk just tell me that the chickens were raised with a better diet. The more information, the better, because you can go to a restaurant and they're saying that they're selling like farm fresh, pasture raised, organic eggs, and you get something like this and you're gonna be like, oh no, that's not it. Now you know, right? So the more you know, the better. We know now what the labels mean. From regular supermarket eggs or dollar store eggs, which by the way don't cost $1, I just learned, that say natural or fresh, which means nothing. So now that you have all these bits of information, you can choose what's best for you and your budget consciously. Make that conscious decision and go with it. Hi, this is my AI character, and I am talking about excellent eggs. Now that we talk about eggs, where they come from, is it the chicken or the egg that comes first? What the fuck am I saying?
The chicken or the egg comes first.